We had one of the best wines I've ever had from Portugal. Not a fortified wine, but a dry wine. And the Douro Valley is making more and more dry wine. This wine was the 2007 Dows Vale Bomfim. This is one of their single vineyards, one of their prize vineyards in the Douro. And I learned something yesterday about one of the reasons why Dows making still wine. There's only a certain amount of wine that can be produced in port and turned into port every year. So the producers in the Douro have to do something with this wine. They can either make it into neutral spirits, they can turn it into table wine, which is what a lot of the better producers are starting to do. And before, all of their top level grapes went into their best ports, their vintage ports. Usually 2 or 3 times a decade they'll declare a vintage year. The rest of the wines went into the late bottle vintage program, and then the rest of the stuff that was left went into the Ruby program. So, and of course there's a little bit left for the tawnies and the colheitas, the single vintage tawnies. So in the mid 80s they started replanting the Douro Valley, and before that all of the vineyards were planted to field blends. So there was Touriga Nacional, Tinta Sal, Tinta Franca, Tinta Barroca, and all these wines were spread throughout the vineyard kind of willy-nilly. And this replanting that happened in the 80s, they really did a more professional job of planting, so they knew exactly which plots were which varietals. So today you have an abundance of high quality grapes in the Douro Valley, and we're starting to see some really neat stuff. This wine had a lovely black cherry, black plum, somewhat of a sun-dried character to it, with a nice little black earth note that all these Portuguese wines have, very typical of wines from the Douro Valley, and then just a little note of cocoa, but very nice and incredible value at under $10 a bottle.